So I thought I'd do something fun because lately I've been playing Starfield, so I thought I wanted to hear your guys' reaction to a funny. Well, I wanted to see this glitch that happened to me, and it was. Let's just say Bethesda just know what people want.
I don't know if our instrumentation is rated for long-term exposure to this level of cold. It's all your matter.
So you can probably guess when I started laughing from that clip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what
They
happened?
took one look at you, thought you were ugly, and then bonked herself in the head to kill themselves.
Everyone died. Yeah.
Oh my god! It's a British. Snaps his own neck. I mean, to be fair, given the English history, I would also run away. Alright then, so after we want to give a good old shout out to Ray for being in the first section. We got another guest on, but we couldn't handle having 5 people on because that's a nightmare. So joined us once again to talk about the next time because he's threatening to kill me if he doesn't get to talk about it. Taurock.
Come on! Don't be that mean. Already. Hello, it's me. I am the Taurock.
To be fair, we planned to have Taurock on for this episode, but no one expected it immediately after this.
Yeah.
I accidentally called it.
You did. You bringing the freaking lad's curse back.
You know what's
Yay.
funny? I think I know why they're doing this, though, to be fair.
Views?
Besides the fact that this episode is ready now, there is that Tournament of Champions coming up, so they're going to be using probably both these two to try to advertise it.
I guess
Makes
it
sense.
could be.
That makes sense.
So, yep, Taurock, welcome back on, taking over Ray's spot. Right then, so, after what seems to be a long time of a lot of requests...
Oh my god, yeah.
Over 3,000 years.
It's been over 65 years. The old lady from Titanic, I think. Yeah,
meme of the day. And,
there you go.
so, funny enough though, this episode nearly didn't even get onto this season. The fans, I think Richard brought this up on the crossover, kind of like managed to get it hyped up again in the community to the point Death Battle were like, alright, you know what, we'll put it on the ballot and if enough people want it, we'll do it.
And then safe to assume that swept the rest of the ballot options.
Which is,
Yep.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
like sweet.
the Colex sweeps. And by god, it's swept, and I'm happy for that.
so,
Honestly, just sorry. Thank Red Runner for his campaigning, like, and his insane work.
Him and Hyperstar Man.
Hyperstar Man too.
so,
But you know, Red Runner is the more flashy of the two because he made an animation.
yeah, so, I guess this episode, I'm gonna pull a Euroni, mate. I'm not too familiar with these two. This episode, I think this is the first episode this season where I'm just like, who? Well, okay, when I
Wait,
say...
so we have an episode where I'm more familiar with at least one character than Bill?
It's a Christmas miracle.
I don't believe it. Finally, I can do this. I set it up 16 years ago. Wait, where's the clown?
Wait a minute, you were planning to hang out with me from 16 years ago? My man planning for the future here. It's like, Mum, you don't understand. I need this confetti ready in case I need to show up one of my friends. I mean, big props to you. Oh, there's the clown.
Oh, there he is.
Oh my god, Seth the programmer, that's where you've been. Oh, that's a bit mean.
Damn!
Oh, that.
Damn! Non-target kill. Non-target kill.
Hang on.
I feel
actually have this
okay.
here.
I know the controversy around the man, but I legit just feel bad.
That's getting cut, right?
I don't know because of the reaction.
I was gonna say, for once, Steve killed somebody.
Listen, people, that was just one of those intuitive thoughts. All right. I thought.
But seriously.
Yeah, it's those impulsions. I get it.
Anyway, so
But no, this episode has been requested for over 12 years now.
okay.
Yeah. Like, I described it to my friend who was in my reaction for Bill vs. Discord. It's one of those requests that you see since, like, day one of Death Battle. And it's such a popular request, you just think, they're gonna do it eventually, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and they never did because apparently they weren't too attached with like the idea that this matchup could be like relevant.
Well, that and they weren't sure if they could do it because back then all they had was, like, sprites.
Yes.
3D was
Of
just a
course.
pipe dream at the time.
Of course, back in
that
the
was-
day, but now
Yeah,
with
no,
the
that-
resource of the time, with the
Yeah.
resource of now,
I mean, if Bill Cipher versus Discord is anything to go off by, it's like, yeah, they definitely have the resources now. Even if
yeah,
they,
now they have the beads.
even if they just did the sprite, because to be fair, Alex Mercer does have some pretty sick custom sprites. But obviously, if you guys are aware,
This has to be 3D.
the other thing as well,
Yeah.
it's kind of awkward doing a lot of sprites now with a lot of custom ones because I'm not sure you guys are aware of this. Chuck Norris versus Segato got taken down because the creator of that sprite
Yeah, I
issued a
heard of
copyright.
that.
So I think,
It's like Ultron versus Sigma all over again.
yeah, it's kind of shitty because it's
This
like,
one was taken down.
Oh no, it was taken down like way back when because apparently the sprite they used, it was like you can use it but you have to credit the creator, which they did, and the creator still like issued a complaint to have it taken down.
yeah. Controversy aside, though, like now, even though I say I'm not familiar with these guys, have I never heard of them? Well, given the fact we've done some previous episodes discussing these, no, I know of them. I watched Taurock's live stream of him playing both the prototype games, which you should totally watch. They're really entertaining. And Taurock's a madman. Never give him powers. If you thought I was a bit chaotic when I was playing my Starfield, no, Taurock takes that to a whole new level.
Really?
Mate,
That's just vibing.
mate, you threw a civilian at a helicopter.
True, but that's just
Dude,
the
you
power
should-
of prototype.
Dude, you should see me when I mess around in GTA 4.
There we go. Prototype is basically if GTA gave you superpowers.
Oh, so Saints
And
Row
that's
4.
the charm of it.
So Saints Row
Saints Row
4.
4.
God, that game was such
Yeah.
a disappointment. But anyway, so I know of these two characters, and funny enough, I have both their games on my PS3. I have yet to install them after all these years. I now have a PS5.
Well, now that I've
Now you-
spoiled the game for you, you don't really have a lot
mean-
of reason, I think.
Admittedly, though, they look fun to play. Like, fun fact, the prototype
It
game
is.
was made by the same people who did those Incredible Hulk games, which are freaking underrated, man. Like, playing as the Hulk and destroying cities and fighting tanks and freaking surfboarding on a bus, I'm not even kidding.
God, I remember playing one on the GameCube, and I remember that was super fun as hell.
Oh, seriously, Marvel, can we have another Hulk game, please? But yeah, Prototype was I think Prototype and Infamous are kind of that power fancy. The story is okay, but you'll mostly want it for the power fancy. I mean, from what I've heard, Infamous 2 has like the best story, and I'm probably getting this wrong. Isn't it also made by the same people who did Spider-Man games and Spyro?
No, Infamous was
It's
made by the guys
same
who did
developers as Sly Cooper.
Yeah.
Sly Cooper and Ghost of Tsushima were made by them.
Oh, they did the coast. Okay, then. It's kind of crazy how they go from a lot of PlayStation games go from like very cartoony styles to ultra realistic and gritty. It's kind of fun. Like the people behind
Yeah,
Crash
look at Naughty
Bandicoot.
Dog.
Yeah, the guys behind Crash Bandicoot now made a game of a muscular girl playing golf.
I mean, it's like voice actors, the range.
Yeah, so
You know?
Also to be fair to the studio behind Infamous, they make some charming main characters.
yeah, from what I've been told, one of the Infamous games, which lives in infamy, I think it's called Second Son.
Second Son, yes.
People weren't a fan of that because you couldn't play as Cole. Because Cole, from all the clips I looked at,
Oh yeah, that
YouTube-
was
That was
Delson, right?
I think it retconned also the vision of Prototype 2, which was that the evil ending was supposed to be the canon ending, but Second Son went with good ending, where Cole actually sacrificed himself. And he's also dead. He was supposed to return in the good ending, but he's canon dead, so...
I was gonna say, there's anyway 2 other Infamous games that were made. But Delson's game didn't actually get that much hate, because people ended up liking Delson in the end. I think it's the other one you're referring to with Abigail.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that. I know Cole was also in the Street Fighter versus Tekken crossover game, which I won't lie, his graphic design on that looks weird. They made him extra bulky, which I don't really like.
Just like this entire fucking game.
He was also in PlayStation All Stars.
Yeah. So from
Both
what-
versions.
Yeah, he was in PlayStation All-Star twice, I remember.
So, I mean, I've said my piece out. I'm not too familiar with these guys, but someone here is very familiar with. It's Cole McGrath versus Alex, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, of
Sean,
course.
you've been wanting to talk about this matchup. I saw your reaction, man. You nearly destroyed your desk.
I have a durable desk, and I accidentally unplugged my microphone.
I've never seen someone get so excited for a death battle they nearly destroy their equipment. That's a new one for me.
That was me when Bowser versus Ganon was confirmed, but...
Or when you tried to do the Dark Souls roll.
that too, but that's less out of excitement and more for the meme.
I mean, probably nearly got a broken neck for that. You're just in heaven, just like, worth it.
There you go. Anyway, go on.
So, Sean, talk about the McGrath.
So Sucker Punch has made Infamous, and in its first 2 installations, we get introduced to Cole McGrath. Originally, this guy was a bike messenger. That's its full term, and not like courier, but okay.
Oh my god, plot twist. He's actually the Paperboy from the original Paperboy arcade game.
Well, this bike messenger was one day carrying a mysterious package, which turned out to be called the Ray Sphere. And it turned out to blow up in his face and destroy an entire
Literally.
city. Thanks, mate.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. So this literally exploded in his face, and he was fine.
Yes. Well, he was in the hospital for a bit.
Oh, okay.
When he woke up,
No.
I mean, immediately after it went off, he was like jumping around and like doing all sorts of stuff.
Okay, sure. The way you made it sound like, oh, he was in hospital. The man had something explode in his face that destroyed his city. You should be more than in hospital, my man.
well, it turns out one of the reasons Cole survived was due to his newfound powers. He woke up and discovered that he can conjure electricity through his arms. And it's kind of like how defibs work, essentially. That's what kept his heart alive, hence why he survived.
Okay, that's pretty hardcore. I'm assuming that as the game goes on, it explains more just how he has these powers.
Yeah, but eventually, the city was on lockdown, and when Cole got food for people, turns out an evil entity tried to blame Cole for what happened, even though he didn't know what happened, and yet the entire city believed it. It's like Twitter!
Cancel Cole! Cancel Cole!
Jesus Christ.
It affected him so much, his current girlfriend at the time, Trish, even blamed him for the death of her sister.
Jesus Christ. Are you sure this is the same people behind
I'm
Sly
just-
Cooper?
I'm just gonna say this now. Cole's life sucks.
Like,
It does, but at least he still had his best friend Zeke by his side.
he's gonna die, isn't he?
More on that later.
I kind of wish he did in the first one, because God, I don't like him in the first one. In the second one, he's the best guy, but in the first one, God.
Well, eventually, I'm trying to keep the story as brief as I can. Eventually, one mission, Cole is tasked to either save a bunch of doctors or his own girlfriend. Now, this is important for the karma meter in the Infamous franchise because the story can change depending on what path you go down. But I'm mostly going to stick with the canon stuff for now, as our story goes. The good ending, Cole's girlfriend Trish dies. Even after he tried to revive her, it didn't work. Yet, despite everything the city said, Trish was still proud of who he became despite everything. And that gave Cole the motivation to not only continue the fight, but to become a hero that the city needed.
Wait a minute, you're telling me he doesn't become an annoying edgelord, then a villain?
No, he already was. Already was in the first one.
It was just a depressed mess, honestly.
To be fair, of everything he had to go through, and he couldn't walk down the street without people shooting at him, like,
Dude, I think I know what
yeah, I'd be pretty miserable too.
I think I know the theme of this season of Death Battle. We had the food season. This one's just, hey, do you like depression?
This one's just depression, yeah.
Yeah, freaking
Eventually,
Dark Souls with like, oh, no matter what you do, it doesn't matter. Darth Vader and Obito losing their loved ones and full of guilt.
Martian Manhunter, hey, your wife burns in front of you.
Oh my god, does that mean we're gonna get Peter Parker back this season?
Oh, Jesus
Oh,
Christ. Mate, if you call it, then we are officially calling this season Depression.
That would be a...
Just, Jesus Christ. I saw, can anyone be happy in this
Swear.
season?
I swear to god, if that actually does turn out to be the next episode.
Oh my god. It's like, I was thinking, okay, I'm assuming Alex is like the depressed guy. Cole's probably just the, just the unlucky guy. Like, I was expecting to be like a Dante like
Oh no, Cole's both.
Like, looking at Cole, I really thought he was going to be like a Dante-like character. He looks like he's one of those like hardcore Dorito Gammon type of people. Oh.
I don't know. Alex is more on the side of the edgy, sociopathic, but we'll get to it.
so there's more to the story than meets the eye. Eventually, Cole beats the main antagonist, who, from what I remember, turned out to be him from the future.
Wait, what?
And it turns out his entire plan was it to be set in motion for Cole to take on the eventual big antagonist in the second game, the Beast.
Mr. Beast!
Well, this Beast isn't donating money and fixing charities. It's actually just trying to destroy the entire world.
I mean,
Just
what's
like
the...
Mr. Beast.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's the difference?
Future Cole planned for Cole to get these powers now and to prepare him for what's to come. And eventually in the second game... God damn it, Taurock.
Sorry, you had the longest fucking delay when you say what has to come. I had to like hurry up.
It's called setting up drama.
It's times like this, I wish I had those buttons.
I completely forgot to rock because the man off the soundboard.
Just so I can hold it up to the mic and go, nut.
There you go. Yes, the nuts.
So yes, eventually, later Cole found other conduits and eventually got more powers to help combat the Beast. And in the canon ending, he sacrificed himself to defeat the Beast and inspire other conduits like Abigail and Delson Rowe.
I'm not gonna lie, I feel like him and the Chosen Undead will have a lot in common. Literally using their source of energy to give light to their world. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Although, again, I'll dive into it when it comes to powers and stuff. The evil side of the story lets Cole absorb the Beast for himself. Because conduits can absorb elements from the environment. And more on that when we talk about the powers. I think it's only fair to let Alex try to get some mercy across for Bill's sake.
Nah.
Hey. Alright then.
Hey. Alright, so
That was a very
the
sharp
prototype
one.
franchise. What?
I said to Sean, that was a very sharp one. Speaking of sharp,
Oh, okay.
because claws.
Speaking of sharp, weird biomass game. So our dear Alexander, yes,
What?
Alexander J. Mercer. I don't know. There was a Freudian slip up. Fuck you. So.
I mean, he
Alex
can
Mercer
shapeshift
was,
into women, so I guess he kind of is a trans icon.
kind of is a gender fluid. I'm gonna give you that. Oh my god. Sorry, I'm nervous. Like people watching this, please like wish me good luck because like Sean's gonna go for Cole all the way. Mate's not gonna vote for me no matter what after last time, and Billy just wants Alex to die. Okay, I've seen.
I'm just saying. Even ignoring that, my mind's already made up.
Yeah, to be honest, even if I didn't know a lot of things about Cole already, I can't say I like Alex much because design-wise, he looks cool. Like if I just look at like those posters of him, it's like this man looks raw as fuck.
Yes.
But his personality, just fucking kill yourself, man.
Yeah, like any good I think any good prototype fan would tell you they like Alex more for his design and the concept of his powers than him as a character.
Even
like there are people who are gonna say like, oh, but you know, he actually had a troubled past. You know, when he was born, his mother was actually convicted and sent to prison for 9 years. So he was actually like for 10 years in an orphanage with only with only his younger sister Dana as a family. And when their mother got back, apparently it got worse. You know, but like
even his like trailer, the first trailer, as badass as his trailer is. God, it is the most cliche, edgy writing. Like they must have had AI writing beforehand before it became popular.
Yeah, he is straight up the 2010 edgelord sociopath.
I am a terrorist. They call me a terrorist, a monster, a criminal. I am all these things. Like, bruh.
He was also, let's give him credit. He was also a very smart person. This lack of like friendship, his lack of emotion, was compensated by an incredible mind that earned him a spot at the genetic research company called Gentek, and he was tasked to develop a virus, a sort of a prototype.
Haha.
Shit. There we go. Prototype of a specific virus called the Black Light virus. And he was doing well for a while, and then he kind of realized that his colleagues stopped showing up. And they were kind of like disappearing, and well, he was way too smart to not realize something was up and that the government was possibly onto them. And they wanted to shut down the project or something. They wanted to shadow the hedgehog to place.
Wow,
And
so the government saw, hey, maybe creating a deadly virus would be bad. Let's destroy it.
I know, plot twist of the century.
What, the government
guys,
good guys?
I'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
Keep going.
Okay.
I'll admit, I'm a bit surprised by it, because in nearly every video game, the government is a bad guy in some sort of case. So the fact that they were like, oh no, this is fucking dangerous. We need to terminate this project.
I mean, conspiracy theories, you know, it excites people. Anyway, where was I? Yes, so you realized that he was wanted by the government, by the Black Watch, I think is their name. Yes, it's the super secret military operation of the place, and he tasked his sister Dana to look up Gentek and all the fucked up shit they were doing, and also like Black Watch and all that stuff, and he tried to bail out of Manhattan. And then things get kind of blurry. He wakes up in a hospital, on a hospital bed, on a surgeon bed, basically on a surgeon operation, and with like all his clothes on. People were like dissecting him, and he had no memory of who he was and what happened. And next thing he knew, he was like, the moment he tried to escape from the hospital, he was intercepted by Black Watch operatives who shot him down. He was still alive after being gunned down by machine fires. So he started to run super fast. He was like, what the fuck? And then he started to jump super high. He started to leap like entire buildings in one jump. He started to have super reflexes, super strength. He could glide. He was like, what the fuck is happening to me? And so he set out to go on a quest to figure out the truth all around Manhattan, while some kind of big zombie outbreak broke out in Manhattan, and it's just a mess everywhere. So he tracks down people after people who knew him, people who were after him, military operatives, veterans, and all that thing, to finally learn that the reason he lost his memory is that he didn't have memory to begin with. He was actually the Alex Mercer you think you know isn't actually Mercer.
I will
Alex
say,
Mercer.
that is actually a really good twist.
That is a good twist. Alex Mercer is the first victim of the Blacklight virus who assimilated his body and basically took his memories and personalities, at least what remained of it. And Alex Mercer, while trying to escape from Gentech, actually had a sample of the Blacklight virus, and he's the one who released the virus onto the city and caused the zombie outbreak, basically.
It's kind of an interesting, because if you go, I actually went back to watch your recordings of the stream. There is actually some really clever foreshadowing for that, because my mindset was that Alex got the virus and he was like, sort of like, what's the word? Someone who's like who can use the virus to their own bit, like an Albert Wesker type of character, where they're still them, but they're just using the virus as like a power source. Again,
Yes.
An alpha, I think it's called, like something like that. But when
What?
like the alpha of like the virus, like you can control it, so you're the alpha. And probably
Yeah.
So, but when it's revealed, like, no, Alex is dead. You're just the virus. It's like, oh,
You're just the virus who picks up Mercer's mistake, basically, and that's what he kind of tries to do when he stops the military from nuking Manhattan, because it was apparently the only option left to contain the Blacklight outbreak. And so after saving the city, he was kind of done. He was wondering, like, what's my place in the world? Like, I'm just a virus man who killed like thousands of people to get stronger and get to the bottom of this. I found the truth. No, I searched for the truth, found it, didn't like it. That's a direct quote. And so he went on a soul-searching journey, basically. He left Manhattan and he went to Africa. He went to Moscow, and then he went back to America. He would learn about humankind. Normally on these kind of he would fall in love. Normally on these kind of trips, you learn to balance. You learn balance with the world around you and to realign your chakra and whatever. His conclusion was interesting. He concluded that humanity was selfish and worthless, and they're all individual pieces of shit who only thought about themselves, and the only solution is to kill them all and to unite them under one hive mind.
I mean, he's not
That's
wrong,
an
but
interesting theory. Why don't you back it up with a source?
it's not wrong.
Is it because
But-
his source is made the fuck up?
Also, hey mate, you're back. He's
Yeah,
not,
I've been back for a while.
he's not wrong, but it doesn't mean he had to go to. Okay, I will say, Prototype 2 looks like a lot of fun when I was watching Taurock play it. The story is so abysmally stupid. Like Alex Mercer, the ending of the first game, you could argue they tried to make him actually have a deep character. Like that whole speech about where's my place. It's like that's kind of interesting. A virus that's not sure about their purpose in the universe or where they belong. Like, I'm not actually Alex. Can I be my own thing? Despite I have all these memories of other people. But then next
Yeah, I have the
game,
memories of the people I've killed too.
yeah, it's like, no, we're just gonna make him evil. And the next game, like, there had to have been like different writers behind the second game.
There's a comic book by DC Comics apparently.
DC. God damn it! I thought we were
Yeah,
done
yeah.
with DC fights.
Look! In the first prototype, you look at my Let's Play. There's
yeah.
a huge panel of like with DC
Oh.
written on it.
Yeah, I remember that. Jesus Christ.
I don't know if it's a partnership or if it's developed or if he's under DC or whatever, but yeah, the DC scaling. Fuck you.
Jesus Christ.
So
You thought you were done with
Prototype
DC, but you were wrong.
damn it, another comic book character. Anyway, so starts Prototype 2, and he tries in his grand plan to take down humanity. He forms his terrorist group, the Evolved, which he would give basically his powers to few individuals who would help him. And then he did the worst mistake of his life. He gave the powers to an angry protagonist.
I will say, I think I like.
Jake Haller.
I think I prefer him over Alex.
Yeah, as a character, yeah.
Because the reason he's angry actually makes sense.
Yeah, it's because he lost his family and like he thought that his daughter died in the outbreak, but like then he learns that Alex kidnapped his daughter, and because his family has a literal plot armored DNA, and that's the only thing that stops him from taking over the world for some reason.
Yeah, it's comics. I mean, it's video games. They don't got to explain shit.
It's comics. I mean, video games. I love the DC mindset was still there.
I mean, how else do you describe all that? It's kind of weird with this sort of character. Like,
It's superhero shit.
yeah, but the thing that's kind of weird about it, I could tell they really wanted this to be like another big franchise. They wanted this to be like the next big fix. This was coming out when the PS3 and Xbox 360 was coming out, so obviously they wanted to show the power of the next generation. Whereas Xbox had Dead Rising 1, whereas another company also wanted to show off their capabilities, and that was Prototype. But Prototype 2, it seemed as though they didn't know what to do. Like, okay, we got the franchise and people really like it. Shit, what do we do now?
Yeah, it's basically an expansion of the first one. Not gonna lie, it's just hey, you got new zones outside of Manhattan. It looks fancier. It's got some hits are more satisfying because there's actually a camera play in it. So I kind of like the camera play on some attacks and some kills, and the stealth is also a bit improved, but there's not much. Yeah, it doesn't fly high compared to the first one.
Especially what Alex's personality. He went from a character who, as much as we make fun of him, he was complex, but then he was just straight up like, oh, MCU type humor, or edgy type of humor, like, oh, I need to make a wisecrack after the end of each one of my sentences. It's like, are you sure you're the same Alex?
I mean, in the first one, he was kind of edgy. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, he was edgy, but making like even jokes about killing people, he didn't seem like he enjoyed killing people in the first game. Well, depend on the route you take, anyway. But he seems as though he had like some depth. He's trying to figure out who he is, but oh, it turns out no one. I'm gonna be a piece of shit. It's like,
Yeah, but often his quest to figure out who he is comes really at the expense of everyone. Like he didn't really care about his ex-lover. He didn't really like. He was just, hey, I'm here. Give me the information, and then he's gone just as fast as he came. Like there's even okay. There you go.
Jesus Christ.
I was trying to hold myself back. Then you go and do that.
Lord.
There's a Dana. There's a scene where he comes to Dana, where like he's basically doing Batman shit, where he's like, "I'm here," and Dana is like, "Jesus Christ, where do you come from?"
Let's be real here. We've all wanted to do something like that, where we're just there, no one realizes.
I actually kind of have.
Oh, he's living the dream.
Yeah, that's called being introverted. Really, you'll learn this skill one day.
Maybe not.
So all I do is just walk up to people and they like say hi and they turn around and go like, Jesus fuck.
And then you're gone just as fast because you have nothing to say. So you're like, I'm gonna leave the conversation. Bye.
I just wanted to be Batman.
Fair, valid.
Right then, so how long have we been talking about this? Alright, so 46 minutes. So let's actually start hearing their
A while.
abilities. Because obviously, just like Bill versus Discord, this is a big, highly requested episode. So let's actually hear a bit of Cole and a bit of Alex and their abilities.
Oh boy. So
Okay, so I'm gonna be real. The Let's Play I watched of Infamous went the good guy route, so that's pretty much all I really know with Cole.
That's where you got the canon abilities, so you're good.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, it still might be a good idea to like bring up the bad guy abilities.
Well, lucky for you, I have all of that. But let's start off with basic abilities for Cole. After Cole learned he got electricity, he learned he can shoot lightning bolts from his hands.
Okay,
Pretty
now the
solid.
Chosen
Or
Undead would really like him.
With Cole's lightning bolts, they passively regenerate his electric reserve whenever he hits an enemy with them. Mostly, it acts as like a little bit of a way he can steal electricity. Speaking of stealing electricity, he can drain electricity from a variety of things that have electricity in them. Generators, cars, powered down cell phone towers, and if you're that desperate, people.
Yeah, because you need electricity for your brain to function.
And where does Cole grab? Right in your face.
Oof, that sounds like it would be painful.
Not as painful as the gigawatt blade. Conjure an electricity blade sharp as a sword that can slice through enemies.
But can it make a latte?
Sadly not.
I don't know why that appeared in my head. I don't know where I was going with that joke.
I was also trying to figure out the code, but
there was no
also
code.
handy for cutting through toxic. And it's also helpful for getting rid of toxic tar from one of his opponents named Shasha. Think of the tar like mud, Bill, essentially.
Oh, okay then.
Eventually, in Infamous 2, Cole got other electric abilities, like his electronic thrusters, allowing him to glide in the air. These are so powerful that they can resist gravitational black holes created by the beast.
Hold on, this man's working on black hole speed?
In a way, it's described as a black hole. You know, one of those things where it's like a wormhole, black hole deal. But essentially, yes. Resisting forced gravitational pull, essentially.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, he's also got like a shockwave, which is powerful enough to like launch cars through the air and even send back projectiles.
Actually do.
But arguably, good Cole's most dangerous power is conjuring up a giant lightning storm.
Dude, that's like the last power you get, and it's so cool.
the Ionic Storm, yes.
It's so powerful, it managed to kill an enemy named David, who normally resists electricity attacks, and also absorbs electricity. It overwhelmed that factor.
Have to ask, when he uses this ability, does he scream, "Force parkour"?
This came out before Skyrim.
I just wanted to make a reference. I have nothing to contribute except jokes.
Eventually, if you're on the absolute good side of karma, you get access to karmatic overload, giving Cole unlimited energy for a short duration. But guess what? There's more thanks to Infamous 2.
Yay.
They gave him a melee weapon called an amp. It's a powerful melee weapon designed by Seek, which Cole can channel his electricity through and whack people like a giant baseball bat.
Yeah, basically amps his striking power. What a shock.
3 puns in one. I'm proud of you, Taurock.
But the main thing Cole discovered in Infamous 2 was he can have other elements. If you go down the good path, you get access to ice.
Okay, how do you go from electricity to ice?
Basically, they discovered that conduits can absorb elements from the environment. Different conduits can absorb different ones based on how effective they are. Basically, Cole touched ice and was able to absorb it.
So does this mean like any element like fire, rock? And
Wait,
stuff?
he gets his ice power from the ice lady? What's her name?
Sort of, yeah. But eventually, I forget her exact name, but that's how Delson also got his powers that he discovers he can absorb from other conduits. With his ice powers, Cole can create frost shields, freeze rockets, ice grenades, and create the ionic freeze. Think of them like he conjures up giant, large icicles which freezes anyone or anything that is touched or damaged by it. But since Mate wants to know about evil Cole powers,
I
may we
also have
introduce-
some more good Cole powers.
Do you want to go over some of them then?
Well, there's also the polarity shield, which is an electric shield that just, passively blocks bullets or just projectiles as a whole, and it powers him up as it blocks projectiles. There's like the shock grenades where he literally just throws a ball of electricity that explodes. And did we mention the gigawatt hammer?
We didn't.
Which is
Think of it
basically the
like-
shock grenades but better.
Or just think of it like Reinhardt's ultimate. Hammer down, baby.
Funny enough, does not use an actual hammer. He's also a master of parkour.
Parkour.
It's somewhat, but that also helps the fact that he can grind on phone wires essentially to travel faster. This is
And train tracks.
Right. Basically anything.
One at a time.
Basically anything with electricity he can use as a way of transportation. Just don't give him a gun. It explodes if he touches one.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And don't put him in water.
I was about to say that.
That kills him.
I guess if you generate electricity, it makes sense.
Man, I have to ask, can he bathe anymore?
Maybe if he found I think they found
Can
a
he-
workaround where he wasn't weak to water in Infamous 2.
Can he drink? How does
Also,
he
yeah.
drink?
But didn't Sean just say
Remember,
like in
ice
the next game he can actually have water now?
Yeah, but I
Remember,
mean,
ice
he
is
goes
a form
like,
of water, so having ice powers would inevitably kill him, you'd think, right?
Yeah, suppose that makes sense. I guess he got immune
Yeah,
to it.
fair.
But I wanted to go to evil powers because of how much there is, but evil Cole in Infamous 2 gets access to what do you think is the opposite of ice?
Fire.
Petrol.
No and no.
What?
airbending.
The funny thing is,
No.
I'm closer.
No, none of you are. The correct answer was napalm
It's
slash
napalm,
magma.
I know.
Okay. I mean, that's one upgrade, I suppose.
Well, with napalm, guess what? Cole can now teleport with it.
Yeah, that'd be a problem.
Cole can turn himself into a cloud of ash or smoke, allowing him to travel great distances. Like, poof, I'm here. I'm now Smoke from Mortal Kombat. Just give me the white hair already.
He barely has any hair to begin with.
He can also trap enemies in pillars of napalm when napalm trap. Has a nightmare blast, a napalm grenade, a fire bird strike, a flame drop, and the ionic drain.
I swear, these sound like anime attacks.
They kind of do, actually.
The scary thing
Yeah.
about Ionic Drain is it's an upgrade to the Bio Leech ability, allowing Cole to drain energy from all his surrounding.
Ionic Drain!
And what's even scarier, Cole is untouchable while he's using Ionic Drain. And it's because of Ionic Drain, in the evil side, he was able to absorb the beasts. You know, the thing threatening the world. So you might be thinking, oh, what's so scary about this? Well, besides shape-shifting, gravity boosting, and regen, Cole gains the same access to a Ray Sphere Blast. Yeah, you know, the thing that blew up the city and gave him his powers, he can do that himself with the powers of the beast.
It's one way to earn a promotion.
Also, wasn't it stated that the beast is more powerful than the bomb that went off and gave him his powers?
Pretty much. So
Alright.
if push comes to shove, you do not mess with this conduit. Like I said, there's a lot of powers for Cole depending on your routes. So it's good to talk about a little bit of everything. But now let's kick it over to the prototype.
Yay! Let's go. So, as I said, Alex Mercer, when he first wake up, he realized that he had your classic superhero stuff. He had your superhuman strength. He was so strong that he can cause a ground shaker, which shatters, which shatters the ground to his enemies. He can, this one I love it. It's the knuckle shockwave, where he basically flexes so hard he breaks the sound barrier just by flexing. He's like, ooh, there's a shockwave and it knocks off enemies.
That is pretty funny.
It is very funny. Super speed is also one of his abilities. Basically, bullets, tank shells, rocket launchers, cars, whatever the military can throw at him, he can easily dodge it. And he can run up walls. He can leap off buildings like in one jump. He's an expert at parkour. He can glide through the air for some reason by like creating tendrils. He has thermal visions. He can perceive heat signatures. And his key ability is his ability to consume and absorb the biomass and DNA of his victims with nothing but a stab. Like with his bare hand, he just needs just one stab at you is enough to like plant his body into you and to basically absorb your into like less than a second.
Can you? I'm not sure if it's because you're French, but you kind of made that sound sexual. I'm not gonna lie.
No, oh, come on! Oh, get your mind out of the gutter.
I'm just being
Jesus
honest
Christ.
here. I'm just being honest. It sounded sexual.
Bro, he can sprout thousands of tentacles. I have so
stop.
many opportunities to make it sexual, okay? He can
must be
shapeshift
really-
he can be whoever you want him to.
Oh my god.
It'd be very popular in Japan then.
This is weirdly no.
Yeah, I was thinking, there's not going to
This-
be many dirty jokes with this episode, but
And basically by absorbing their biomass, he can regain in health. He can also like absorb their memories and manipulate them to however he likes. This is the key to his abilities. He grows in strength, and the more he absorbs people. The best way to describe it is he's like a black hole of people.
that's actually
Like
a good
you-
description.
You see that feat that Lobo, you see Lobo crushing a city. Oh god, we're back to DC again. Crushing a city and eating it. That little ball is basically Alex, but with nothing but flesh and bones and fleshy stuff.
I mean, from the
Kinda gross.
opening of the game, from when I watched your tutorial, he's just massacring everyone and just summons all these, like, organic flesh that just consumes everything.
Yes, this is the key to all his ability, because he can manipulate this biomass like however he likes. He can shapeshift into whoever he absorbed and replicate their body down to the fingerprints, the clothes they were before they died, and even their equipment. He can replicate like technology to a minimal degree. Like he can pick up radio waves and replicate them, despite like there's some instances where he picks up like military talking through talkie-walkies despite not having a talkie-walkie on himself. So like there's a minor technology replication that he can make, which is weird.
So his flesh can sort of generate electricity in some sort of way to do this. I'm
In
assuming.
some sort of way, I guess, but it's never explained.
That might
It's comics.
that might actually be a downgrade when going up against someone who, I don't know, might absorb electricity?
Oh no, you suck the electricity out of my phone. Here, let me absorb your arm.
Well, no, the idea is like, if his organic flesh can generate electricity to power these things,
I mean, it's not the source of its power. Like I said, it's just biomass in general.
okay, fair enough. Maybe I just misinterpreted it.
No, it's kind of fair, but like it's just he's got a weird thing where he can replicate some minor technology like phones and stuff. It also, of course, you're just an amount of flesh that you can manipulate your flesh at will. You have an insane healing factor, which you can basically regenerate from a puddle of goo on the floor. You can be reduced to a puddle of blood on the floor, and you can just grow back nice and dandy. And not only does he absorb their biomass and their flesh, he also absorbs the mind of people, which gives him plenty of experience from scientists, from military personnel, and expertise in military weapons like assault rifle, machine guns, grenade launchers, rocket launchers, tanks, or helicopters. But like that's the shiny stuff. Like when you hear shape-shifting powers, what do you want to see? Form weapons just with your arms, with your body, and that's the juicy stuff.
Again, no, I'm just not going there again. Let's just go on.
Yeah. So we got claws that can summon spikes from the ground. We got the hammer fists, which are giant fists that can fist fight tanks and perform the most satisfying, the sickest elbow drops in the video game history. Muscle mass, basically a bunch of arms that doubles his strength, is already impressive strength. The whip fist is just one arm that can go very, 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 very far and is very good to destroy helicopters with in midair. He can form shields, he can form an armor that turns Alex into a human tank. He can. Actually, the whip fist is very good, perfect description. Get over here, and he can also get over there.
I'm surprised you never made that joke once when during your streams when you used that armor.
I had restraint, I did it once. I think I asked like, can I get over here, or is it get over here, or do I get over there, or something like that.
It's not
but
the
anyway,
same, man.
Like I said, with the armor, he can turn himself into a human tank. Basically a near impenetrable guy at the expense of some mobility. Like he can't glide, for example. He can also just, again, stab you and turn you into a bio bomb. You're basically set to explode into a nice fleshy tendril bomb that's gonna go everywhere, and also like basically turns you into a fleshy black hole, which is not really a black hole, but it basically attracts stuff to them, and it makes kind of a mess. And for when he absorbs enough biomass, he can perform his ultimate moves, which are Devastator attacks. We've got the Tendril Barrage, which is a massive release of tentacles that basically pierce through anything on its path. It actually absorbs a bit of biomass on the way back, so it can actually heal him in the process. You have the Ground Spike Graveyard, which are like summons a shit ton of spikes from the ground that can impale tanks and whatever. We've got the Critical Pain, which is very funny. It's basically a Kamehameha flesh. And normally he can only perform those when he has an excess of biomass, when he's basically like at more than full health. But thanks to the adrenaline surge, he can actually cast one Devastator attack when he's on the gate of death. So when he's like about to die, he can do a desperate move and just kill everyone in the vicinity.
As you do.
And also, and there's this also, we can't forget the fact that he is the black light virus himself. So he can actually spread the virus and create create a zombie outbreak whenever he likes. I actually want to go like a little in detail about the black light virus. It's just a quote to describe how it works.
All right, and then after that we'll do the 60 seconds because we are past the 2-hour mark.
Yes, sorry.
Once
insinuated into the system, it affects the protein encoding regions of the promoter intron within each cell. In short, it enters, repurposes, and changes the cell. The new cell replicates with formerly dormant, non-coding regions active, causing drastic biological changes. In 99.9% of the cases, the biology of the victim of the organism fails, causing massive organ failures and death. From first infection to death varies per target, but it's usually measured in days or hours. It's also perpetually adaptable. It can adapt to pretty much any organism, and it can spread through any medium like physical contact, fluid, or even the air like a viral gas. And he can also control the mind of the infected. That's it.
Interesting. So he has like essentially a bioweapon on his side as well. Then.
He is a walking bioweapon.
All right then. So shall we get to the 60 seconds, or is there one more thing you want to add to that comment?
There's actually one, and I want to talk about. Do I do it? Do I do it after the 60 seconds? I think I'm gonna keep it to after.
All right then. So, I nearly set it to 1 second timer. John, you got 1 second.
Wins.
Good enough. Right then, so...
Come on, make it look like it's a competition.
Alright then, Sean, are you ready?
I think so.
And a 3, 2, 1, go.
Cole's going to show the type of person he is in this debate. With his vast amount of powers, he's going to overwhelm Alex with his variety of options. From completely electrocuting him, to freezing him solid, to possibly just disintegrating him from napalm, if push comes to shove. And also keep in mind is that while Alex does need biomass is not infinite. However, with most of the world relying on something with electricity, Cole's never going to be without power. And even if he gets fatally damaged quite a lot, he has basically an instant defibrillator which can help him get back in the fight. Thanks to Karmatic Overload, he'll have an unlimited supply of energy for a duration that can buy him plenty of time to defeat Alex. While Alex can suck people in, we have talked about how Cole's thrusters can allow him to get away from that. Even if Alex goes impenetrable, his lightning bolts have been shown to pierce titanium. Overall, I will be shocked if Cole loses. Cole, just please show no mercy to Alex Mercer.
That was perfectly timed.
Nice.
That was actually pretty convincing. I've kind of set my mind on one character, but let's hear what Taurock has to bring for Alex. I should probably get the timer back up. Don't know why I closed that. Taurock, are you ready?
Did you tell I've been waiting for this rematch?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Didn't you lose the last one?
We've been preparing for this.
We went back and forth on Twitter so much about it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, then. So, are you ready, Taurock?
I think I am.
And a 1, 2, 3, baguette.
Alex Mercer may not be the fastest of the two, but he makes up for it with greater athleticism and absolutely dominates Cole in close combat. All Alex really needs to do is one single hit to consume Cole's entire body in the blink of an eye. And with his ruthless, manipulative mind blended with tons of scientists, tacticians, and military personnel, his terrifyingly accurate stealth abilities, as well as his inhuman survivability, I think he has all the tools he needs to get close long enough to make that hit count more times than not. And if that doesn't work, he can just fart on his balls. That's right, the Blacklight virus has infected others at a distance and in a wide area and can rearrange their genetic makeup, directly targeting Cole's source of power, disabling it, or sabotage it so that Cole can't control it, grows a third arm out of his ass, and blows up from his own electricity powers. Yeah, it might trigger Cole Mech's wrath, but it is the surprise key for Alex's merciless victory.
Ah, that was also well timed.
Let's go!
All right then.
I will bring up a counterpoint. Other conduits have tried to take Cole's powers, kind of like how the virus has done, and Cole's resisted that. I don't think the virus is going to be able to do that much to Cole himself.
Well,
does it? Because
Well, the thing I wanted to actually ask you, Sean, before I come to my conclusion. So, has Cole resisted like any sort of virus-like thing that Alex can, well, use?
He has, and that was in a DLC. Is the thing.
Well, I mean, if it's a DLC, if it's still part
DLC,
of the
which was a
story.
made up. It was a made up story
Oh, right.
by Zeke,
Fair enough.
and he was becoming a vampire for some reason.
Okay, Infamous is weird.
Well, here's the thing. Also, with the beast
Zeke.
stuff, specifically, here's my rebuttal. With the powers of the beast, he is able to regenerate himself. Even if he was reduced to atoms, like with the virus, he can give himself back how he was.
Oh.
The thing with the Beast is that I don't think Death Battle's gonna assign to him because it's technically not part of the main canon. So
This
it's.
is one where you gotta take everything into consideration.
I know,
Also,
but like,
Prototype has also split paths.
Yeah, I feel like they're just gonna take like both into consideration for both.
actually, Prototype has a pretty straightforward path. It's just that Alex goes from hero in the first one to villain on the second one. It's not like Infamous, where you have two different paths.
Right, so
Even then, I do think Cole has the power to vaporize Alex completely, or just freeze him completely solid, because viruses don't work well in cold.
well, the thing I do actually agree. So I did watch Taurock play Prototype 2. Alex's healing factor can be overtaxed. Isn't that correct?
Yes, it's true. It's true that like if you like slice him and dices him and blow him up enough, you can eventually he'll run out of biomass basically to recover from.
Right.
Which come on, how do I say this? It takes someone as strong as James Heller to do that, and it also takes like even a nuke couldn't do that.
Yeah, so they both can survive like near disintegration. Like they both. All right, so we've been talking for
The
two
difference is-
and a half hours. Well, I mean, not for this episode,
I
but
bel-
you know, in
I
general.
believe that Cole has the power that can defeat Alex, thanks to stuff like his lightning storm. Remember, David? He was resistant to electricity, and it still overpowered that resistance and absorbing. I do think it can overpower Alex's healing factor.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So,
Also, like, I know, like, Alex did technically survive a nuke, but wasn't it a thing, like, he would have just flat out died if a crow didn't, like, land near what was left of him so he could absorb its biomass?
Could David survive a nuke though?
I don't remember that from the stream, but from what it seems as though
Consider-
Alex just walked out of that shit.
Considering that the ray sphere itself was like a nuke and it blew up in Cole's face, I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, I think we can both agree. Like they both have like similar durability.
Well, I want to say it's greater. My nuke at the end of Prototype 1 was described to be 5 times the power of the bomb that dropped on Hiroshima. Which I calculated, it's up to 8 megatons of TNT. And there's the possibility and assumption that he is even stronger than that by the time of Prototype 2.
Yeah, because he does get stronger in the next game. He even gloats that, you know, he was weak. I think he called himself weak in the past.
So, I hate to do this to you, Taurock, but here is the nail in the coffin for Alex. With ability Cole has, he's able to deconstruct anyone who isn't a conduit on an atomic level.
Oh.
Wait, you can do that when?
Thanks to the ray
As
sphere
what?
He's able to do. And keep in mind, the ray sphere was also the same thing that blew up in Cole's face. Cole survived. So he survived an explosion that was made to get rid of you at the atomic level.
Oh,
Yeah, but
damn.
he had a.
You know what?
Yeah, in fact,
It
the
was,
thing.
but it was his specific gene conduit that allowed him to survive.
Yeah, but
And
I think
with-
Conduit at that
remember-
point.
Remember, the black light virus can mess up with you on the genetic level.
though, okay, genetic level and atomic level are not the same thing. So atomic level means like very small detail, like the atoms in your DNA. Now a virus can technically affect that, however, it takes a longer time for it to do so. Whereas on an atomic level, if you're able to control yourself to fight off something like that, you clearly have more of an impact on your cells than a virus would have. Like, for instance, like where's to bring out, like the COVID virus, that could affect us, but not on an atomic level. Like, it's mostly in our blood and stuff like that. But
Yeah, because of all those advantages, I'm giving my vote to Cole McGrath.
Alright, and Taurock, are you committed to Alex?
I actually want you guys' answers before I give mine.
Alright,
I just want to ask something, because this is something that me, Sean, and a couple other people talked about. I just want to have this verified as well. And that being Alex was once subdued by a whole bunch of cow prods.
I what?
I was gonna say
By what?
some-
I didn't.
Cow prods.
Cow what?
Castle prod, basically tasers.
Well, that's a very good point. Billy, can you edit my face? Let me give you a drawing. This is gonna be very quick. Let me put me like this, and I'm pointing a gun at the viewer, and I'm gonna say to you, viewer, right now. No, he's not weak to electricity. It's a misconception that because there's a boss fight against Lieutenant Cross, who uses a shock baton, but you can actually block him. Let me pull up.
Yeah, I can actually confirm that. I did see that boss fight. He can in fact block it.
You can block him, and he is not necessarily weak to it. It does show that he can be affected by it to some degree, but he's as resistant to electricity as like everything else, basically. And it was apparently, I think I checked the wiki sometimes, and this was a specialized shock baton made for infected like Alex.
Oh, okay. That context was left out.
It was it's just like extra shocky. So the argument can still stand that Alex can be affected by it, but he's not weak to it like a Pokemon.
What type of if Alex was a Pokemon, what type would you think it would be? I'd say like a fight and dark type.
Poison dark.
Dark and
Actually, yeah.
dark and no.
Poison dark actually I think it works.
Poison dark, yeah. Poison dark would work.
I wonder what Pokemon Cole would be.
Here's James Heller splitting the moon in two.
Wait, what?
That's James Heller. Nah.
Hold on.
That's Heller, but it scales.
Hold on. Is this an actual feat he can do though?
No, I think it's just
Okay.
the image of an upgrade.
Okay, then I was gonna say like, hold on a minute.
It's just like shock value. I just
Okay.
wanted to give a shock value.
Okay, you had me at the first half.
I'm not gonna lie.
I was thinking like, okay, you know what? I could definitely give power to Alex.
Another point I did want to bring up real quick. Taurock, you even said that Alex isn't the faster of the two. So how is he going to hit him?
Right.
I
Okay.
mean, he
So
can shapeshift and disguise into anyone he likes. He can trick. He would no problem. He would trick Cole into like into thinking there's another person. Like, oh, there's a civilian, whatever, and then the civilian gets it's like, oh no, I'm in the rubble, and Cole is like, you're okay, and then Alex is like, gotcha, bitch.
that's a good point because compared to the two, Cole is an canonically, if we go by the main games, Cole is a good guy, so he can be
And then
manipulated.
one of his
by them.
active. Even then, thanks to his perception reaction ability, he will still be able to dodge that attack.
All right then.
Slows
So
down his
I mean,
perception of time.
he needs as much as a touch.
and
A touch would be enough.
so
Yeah, but then in theory, doesn't Cole also just need a touch?
right. And so I think it's an interesting debate, and I've come to a conclusion. You ready, mate? Are you also committed to Cole?
Yeah. Okay, so it sounds like they both have like ways to like insta kill the other, but I think like you even said that Cole is the faster of the two, so he would likely be able to
I mean, yeah.
do that first.
Yeah, he's lightning. So.
And from everything I've been led to understand, that he's just like the more powerful of the two, like just in a more general sense.
I want to argue Alex is resilient enough, but sorry, I'm influencing way too much.
Yeah, so I think it's I think it's a pretty clear win for Cole.
Well, okay then. I disagree that I don't think this is a one-sided or clear win. So, who do I go for? Alex, I can agree, has the better healing factor. He also has the more versatile melee weapons and range. To an extent, he also is evidently stronger. I agree with that. And the virus does seem like a slick counter because it doesn't because the virus doesn't care how strong you are. A virus would consume you. That's how a virus works. But of course, here's my counter to that though. Despite Cole not being superiorly stronger, from everything Sean has described though, he's gone up against someone who was way stronger than him, but because he's able to maneuver and also just have more access to more versatile long-range weaponry, he has that advantage. If Killua versus Misaka is anything to go by, then yeah, it doesn't matter how good you are at close range combat. If you can't even get close enough to hit your opponent, it's a losing battle. But the other thing as well, unlike Alex's healing factor, though, while it's good, there's a limit. Cole may not have a good healing factor, but he can overtax someone like Alex Mercer to the point that, like the character you mentioned, Hela, he managed to beat him to the point all he was left as just an armless man at the mercy of someone. Like, he was practically dead. He accepted he was going to die. And the other thing as well, his mass is kind of limited. Sure, when there's a virus about, he can infect other people, but if we're going from a rule for death battle, he's not going to be able to access other people to be able to heal. Obviously, for thematic-wise, they will have that in the fight, but if we go by the rules of death battle, Cole is going to have much more access to getting in like his electricity powers, because they're obviously going to be on neutral grounds. So he could just draw electricity from this, like thunder, or even, as Sean pointed out, from the brain. Because yeah, we have electricity in our brain. My one may be a little bit rusty.
So Alex could control like civilians, like, or use them to heal. Cole could just do that too.
So yeah.
Yeah, let's not forget that after absorbing Alex, James had so much biomass in him that he released a tendril barrage so intense that spread the entire city.
That's impressive.
I could apply that to Alex. So you could grab like civilians wherever the fuck they are.
It's true, but I think the problem is though, if Alex gets injured to the point he can't even fight back anymore, all Cole needs to do is just drain that last bit of electricity or just vaporize it, which he has done. I've seen gameplay. He can just fully disintegrate you. And of course, that is what can kill a virus. If you were to destroy the cells and there's nothing remaining of it, it's dead. Hell, why do you think we use something like bleach? Because it can literally vaporize it. I'm just picturing Cole just dunking loads of bleach on Alex in the fight. But it's...
Cole shows him like the manga of Bleach, and Alex is like the disintegrating emoji.
Oh.
He died from saying something pure awesome.
Yeah.
There you go.
Careful,
It's
Taurock.
better than my game! Ah!
Careful, Taurock. There is a Bleach fan here, and he's got a gas mask.
I just said it was better.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Okay, and that's what I was saying. Like, careful, because your farts soundboard won't work on Sean. Look at the previous episode. So, yeah, I think of all that said, because I can agree, it's not a one-sided fight. Alex has the better strength and healing factor, but I think he's just going to be fighting a losing battle. He just has too much of a limit for his healing factor. So, my vote is Cole McGrath.
Fair enough.
So Cole sweep.
Cole sweep.
I haven't said anything.
I mean, in terms of like,
Taurock still,
Well, for the
Taurock
lads.
still has to go. Be nice, guys. Be nice.
No, we're saying like for the lads' side, it's a cold sweep.
Okay, fair.
and like in terms of like the, I don't know, like our vote, like in the whole like us and the bros.
Yeah, the
Thing.
main.
Anyway, let's wrap this up because I've got dinner. I've got fajitas.
For me, I'm not gonna fall for the same mistake I did last time. I'm gonna go for Cole.
Really? You made it? Okay.
It is my whole objective. This entire episode was to convince that it's closer than people think it is. There's a lot of misconception about this matchup and lots of intricacies that make it interesting. But Cole's win conditions, they're way more straightforward. Like, yes, range, our powers. He has ice power, he can just freeze Alex. And while Alex's win condition, he needs one hit in, it's still like kind of complex with superior speed. We didn't bring it up, but apparently Cole can detect people. While Alex also has worked around such disadvantage before, it's still an advantage that Cole has. Like, it's more straightforward for Cole, so...
I mean, you did make it more convincing.
I did. It is like again. Alex has good points.
Can you imagine watch Alex win?
I mean,
Oh, I
surprised.
want him to fucking win. Okay, but you know, for the sake of bets and seeing like the outcomes and stuff, I must admit, based on abilities and stuff, Cole is way more straightforward.
Let's go. Sean gets another sweep.
That's a bigger sweep.
Alright then, so, man, this is a long discussion.
Plot twist. Yeah, sorry, I make discussions way too long.
There's just a lot with this matchup, and it's that historic that I think the time makes sense for it.
Yeah, this is
You know,
obviously-
that's fair.
It's a big episode, so it makes sense it would have a lot of people talking about it.
Hell, it was even somewhat confirmed that they'll probably do it around season 5.
Yeah, so,
Because Alex was almost in an episode.
true. Am I excited for this episode? Honestly, I'm not sure if this is going to be a hot take. No. Like, am I excited for... am I excited that, it's going to be an entertaining episode? Yeah, I don't doubt that. I mean, the last episode was fantastic. If they're going to put this much effort into big fan requests, then I'm expecting this episode to be amazing. But do I care if one of them dies or lives? Fuck no. I'm not emotionally attached. The clips I've seen of Cole, I will say I like him over Alex. But that's kind of like preferring, like, I don't know, a basic butter sandwich to cat food. It's like, yeah, clearly one's better, but am I really going to be excited about it? No. That's just a hot take. People, like, feel free to disagree with me. Like, maybe when I eventually play Infamous for myself and Prototype, maybe I'll like it. But I've seen Taurock play the live stream. I've seen other people play it, Infamous, and it just doesn't do it for me. I'm sorry to say. So, but hey, if this is your most requested fight, I'm hoping you guys get a fantastic episode. I hope it brings all the hype that you've been waiting years for. So, I'm rooting for you guys.
I am one of those people who were super excited. I've said how I had like 3 number 1 matchups I wanted the most. Like number 3 can be number 1 and etc. 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 Alex Cole was like number 4. It was like they were like the second in my big matchups that I've always wanted, and oh boy, it's happening. Oh god.
Yeah. So I think with everything said and done, people, I hope this episode is everything you want. And honestly, I'm really expecting with how good Discord versus Bill Cipher was, and with how much effort it seems as though they really want these episodes to... If these episodes didn't come out immediately for this season, it's clear they were working on these to be like the big ones. Like, people want these, let's go big with them. So that's why I'm hoping with this episode, go big or go home. And maybe we'll do a little poll deciding, hey people, out of the 2 ballots, which one was better? Was the 2D one better or the 3D one? So with everything said and done, thank you all so much for watching, and what do you think about the previous episode and this episode? We did do our third topic again. People, we had 2 guests on this episode, like, there's too much to edit. We'll do it next time.
Yeah,
I
sorry.
swear. We'll do it next time, but after the next third topic, the lads' debate is coming up between me and your only mate, and there might have been a hint of which franchises it is in a previous video. Just saying, you might need to go backwards to see it.
Subtle.
Come on.
Oh, it's only the franchises he's hinting at, not the characters. The characters are not going to guess. I can fully say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. We said what the matchup is, and now we might have revealed what the franchise is. But with all that said and done, thank you all so much for watching, and hey, stick around, we'll have more content like this in the future. Taurock, you want to do your outro, and no doubt you have a soundboard in mind. I know you're itching to do one.
The Outside Surfaces Discord is the best episode. Bye! That's it.
Oh, I thought you were going to do like
on.
I was expecting a soundboard like the Goku drip joke again.
Oh no. I was just wanting to do a bit because I couldn't be there at the Billboard discussion.
Oh well, Billboard. Now that sounds like something I should invest in. That's just my own version of Discord, a bootleg one. Welcome to Billboard. You're early, mate.
Bye.
Nothing, okay.
He gets it.
Sean.
Thank you both for watching. I hope you enjoyed our discussion today. I just want to give a quick shout, of course, to Ray for hopping on for our Build vs. Discord discussion, and Taurock, thank you for the rematch. It was quite fun.
It was really fun. I was super excited to talk about Prototype.
That being said, leave your own predictions down below, and I will see you all later.
See, why can't you guys be more like Sean?
No.